It's just me here, you know that, Lucy.
Yes. Hi, Kaiser. You look gloomy.
So what do you want to say to all the guys?
You know what? I've forgotten. So, what bug is in your beetle? What happened to you today?
I don't have bread today. We went to my uncle's shop earlier so my mom could buy bread for my school lunch. But the bread she got was dry and moldy. She wasted her money. One cannot eat that bread at all. I certainly won't. And now I'm gonna be hungry all day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kaiser. Did your mom talk to your uncle about it?
No. She only saw it when she got back into the taxi. And anyway, she's not the type of person to go and complain. Unlike me, she felt bad.
Sure. So he got his money, but you guys got no value for your purchase. There's been so many holidays this month. Maybe he forgot to order his stock in time or something.
Yeah, let's go inside. Class is starting.
Hello listeners, and welcome to the fourth program of our series, Let's Learn Business Studies. The series is meant especially for grade 12 learners getting ready to write their exams. But we hope that others who have an interest in business studies also find it interesting. Today's lesson focuses on production management. And at the end of these programs, our learners should be able to: number 1, discuss the benefit and cost of holding inventory. Discuss inventory control methods, including buffer inventory and just-in-time, which is called JIT. And they must be also able to evaluate buffer inventory, reorder level, and lead time in a business. Please, as usual, have a pen and a notebook ready so that you can make notes of important points that you might want to remember. And don't forget, we still have a question at the end of the lesson that will help you prepare for your exam.
And so he says he will be hungry all day. He's quite grumpy today. You'll find, Miss Orbit.
Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that, Geyser. But I have a small consolation. This question links quite well with the topic we'll be discussing in class today.
What? We are discussing stale bread.
Hi, Geyser. No, we are not discussing stale bread. But I have a suspicion, because of all those holidays around this month, your uncle might have bought more bread than his customer required. And now he's trying to get rid of it. With the information we learned today, you may be able to help him with proper inventory control. Our topic today is inventory management.
Miss Orbit, I've already learned a little about inventory. I know that everything a business uses, for example, the raw materials for making products or rendering a service, and even the goods produced at which the shop makes available for sale in the business, are all part of inventory. So now I'm wondering, if you talk about inventory management, which part of inventory are we talking about today?
All of it, Geyser. Inventory management includes all types of inventories, or we may say stock, whether it's a raw materials, work in progress, or the inventory for finished good. It is important to have proper inventory control and management, because improper management of inventory, whether you are holding too much or too little, can make a business lose money. We speak of the cost and benefit of holding inventory.
Which one is best, miss? To keep too little or a large amount of stock in an inventory?
Wow, please, can somebody tell me what this inventory means?
Good question, Lucy. Let's take a step back. The inventory is the register to record or list of stock or materials of the business.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We may continue.
All right. Every business will try to keep optimal inventory, meaning not too much stock or not too little, though both has advantages and disadvantages. Now, let's look at the advantages, or may say benefit, of holding as little stock as possible. The first one, is efficient and flexible because you only have what you need at a time. The second advantage or benefit, keeping a limited inventory also saves storage cost and insurance cost. It is easy to manage. You can easily keep up and develop new products without wasting inventory. And the last one, not keeping your money tied up in inventory help to keep your cash flow in the business stable. However, as I said, there are also disadvantages to keep small amount of stock.
Such as
you might have insufficient inventory to meet an unforeseen demand. And once your customer realizes that you cannot supply, they will quickly run to the competitors.
Yeah, and then my business gets a bad reputation.
Exactly. More disadvantage of too little stock at hand. If you suddenly have more demand and your stock is finished, it could get complicated and expensive to order more. There can be extra cost for the administration of the order. For example, charges for special delivery have to be paid. Another problem with too little stock is that you may quickly run out of stock if there is a hitch in the system with your suppliers. If you depend on the efficiency of the suppliers, but your order is small, then you can sit with nothing very soon if the supplier has the problem of delivering the inventory.
Sure, those are risky situations for a business. There has to be a midway between little and too much.
So, let's look at the effect of keeping lots of stock in the business. Please take note, class. When we are asked to state the effect of something, you are expected to give positive and negative effect. So, let's continue with the advantages of keeping a large inventory. The first one, buying in bulks may be cheaper, especially if you can benefit from sale or discount for buying in bulks with a lower average cost of the stock. Secondly, you can quickly respond to demand for more products, and this faster response time make your business more competitive. Thirdly, there is also obviously now a lower risk of running out of stock, so your production will not easily be halted due to lower stock. Lastly, having more stock on hand helps to guard against the effect of inflation. These are the advantages of having large inventory.
But yeah, I can imagine the disadvantages of too much stock on the inventory. Things can get broken or stolen or...
That's right, Lucy. There are big costs and disadvantages associated with keeping lots of stock or big inventories. Firstly, of course, you have to store this excess amount of stock, so you need extra space for it, which bring higher storage cost for the business. Secondly, the more stock you keep, the longer you keep it, the higher your insurance premium will be, another cost. Then there's a risk of your excess stock becoming outdated, expiring or not selling. Certain goods may get perished or become obsolete, meaning outdated. Let's say you have a computer store and you buy a large number of certain cell phone. The lifetime of that model might become outdated very soon, and then your money will be wasted. Also remember, the value and quality of product go down the longer it lies in storage. With a larger inventory, most capital or money of the business will be tied up in stock. This will risk slowing down your business cash flow. There is also the risk of natural disasters. Stock is always at risk of being destroyed or damaged by fire, floods, or some other natural disasters. It's better to have less of it excess so that you incur smaller losses if disaster should occur. Finally, the administrative cost involved in monitoring and tracking your inventory.
A business is like between the devil and the deep blue sea. What is then better, Ms. Obert, a small inventory or a large one?
Geza, let me tell you about the buffer inventory and what is known as just in time. There are two instruments that help with inventory control. First, a buffer inventory. This is a minimum stock that should be held in a business to ensure that production could still take place even in the event of delay in delivery of stock. The inventory level is identified and stock is reordered when it reaches that level. The inventory control method known as just-in-time, JIT in short, this aims to reduce cost by keeping the inventory to a minimum but arranging that items are delivered where they are needed and used immediately.
So, how do we know how to evaluate buffer inventory and just in time?
Actually, Geza, beside buffer inventory, you should be able to evaluate reorder and lead time, which we have not yet mentioned. Just let's go into it. Lead time. This is a normal or usual time it takes in the business between ordering new stock and having it delivered on site. In the exam, you may be asked to evaluate this concept because they appear as a specific objectives in the syllabus. Now, listen well, all of you, because I'm going to tell you how to do this. You evaluate by mentioning the advantages and disadvantages of each. Weigh them up, make your choice, or show why they matter or why they are more important or less important in inventory control. And now, I better let you go before you explode from all this information. For your homework, please use your note and your textbook. Familiarize yourself with the advantages and disadvantages of buffer inventory, that of reorder level, and lead time. It must also include just-in-time inventory control.
But ma'am, do we have to summarize again?
Yes, it is important, Geza. Today, we learn about inventory control and management, right? We discussed the benefit and cost of holding small and large stock inventories. We also discussed briefly the inventory control method, which include buffer inventory and just-in-time. In the exam, you should be able to evaluate buffer inventory, reorder level, and lead time for a business. Finally, we refer to stock control method of buffer inventory and just-in-time. The evaluation of buffer inventory, reorder level, lead time is also important homework for our learners to read up on and learn. Will you do that, learners?
For sure, Ms. Obert.
Dear listeners and learners, this then concludes our lesson for today, lesson 4 of 5, on inventory control and management. Before we say goodbye, here is your question. I know you had been waiting for this. Let's start with the case study. Joachim Dairy is a tuck shop in a suburb, selling fresh milk and cream to its customers. They order the inventory from a nearby farmer. Now the question, assess how Joachim may use buffer inventory and lead time as a stock control method. This is a 14 points and there's a lot of mark you can score. Here is the hint again. Use your assessment objective. You will get 3 points for knowledge, 3 more points for application, and 3 for analysis, giving the impact, and 5 marks for evaluation. Let us go through instruction again. Joachim Dairy, a tuck shop in the suburb, sells fresh milk and cream, which it orders from a nearby farmer. Now you have to assess how Joachim may use buffer inventory and lead time as inventory method to control his stock. Again, this is a 14 marks question allocated for knowledge, application, analysis, and evaluation as it discussed before. Enjoy the assignment. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll speak again soon.
This lesson is produced by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture.